media. We're going to get you out here well before the top of the hour. Give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games, and that's what we do here on the drive-thru Monday through Friday here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time is our live free sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And to deliver those winners, our professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. Let's take a peek who's on the show with us today. Full boat today. Got Jay Briggs with us, Alex Smart, NINOS, Tony Brown, Big Al McMordy, Millz Young, James Clark, and we got Shane Mickle with us. And here's how they'll line up for this evening. We've got Smart, NINOS, Scott, Mickle, Brown, Young, Briggs, McMordy, and then I will close this one out. All right, NBA on the board. Single game from the NBA. Also NHL. A few here from as well Major League Baseball. We're going to get a pick here as well from spring football. And we got a lot of player props here on this limited card for a Thursday in prime time. So let's get this one underway. Let's welcome in Alex Smart. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We'll bring him in right now. Take a look at this NBA game. We'll bring him in right now. Alex, what's happening?
Hey, how you doing, Tony? We're going to come after the lone NBA game tonight. We're going to take it from a little bit different angle because I have both the side and total on this game tonight. Like them both. These are strong bets for me tonight, so join me. Anyway, let's get to Grant Williams, who I think is going to go over his prop total at 6.5 points. You know, Williams played a lot of minutes in this series. He's played close to 28 minutes, and he scored over 12 points per game. He played 4 games against the Heat and scored 10 points or more 3 times. And I'm sorry, that was what I was looking at is in this series, the first part I was talking about there was in this series and how much Williams has played, which is quite a lot, actually. In fact, Williams has hit 64% of his three-point line shots, and he scored 9 or more points in 3 of those games that he's played. So, I mean, he's putting points on the board. He's averaging above this average, and I really see the Celtics being aggressive tonight. What happens on the Miami side, that's a whole different story. But as you can see, Williams has been a contributor, and I think he will continue to be a contributor, especially here on home floor. And his depth will be needed here tonight.
All right, we got Alex says go over 6.5 points here. Grant Williams in this one here. Of course, we did see some higher scoring games here in Boston, so that would that may be the case here with Grant Williams. And you're looking here at Dallas really pushing because he'd also put up some points there in that series. Well, high scoring games.
Yeah, absolutely. Things may change a little bit tonight. I'm not exactly sure about. I've got my hard lean on where the total will end up, but points wise, we have a very low total anyway. So, it's funny if you look at this entire basketball playoffs. You'll be surprised to see how close the lines makers have been all the way around the board on totals. And we saw the first part of the playoffs, too, when it came to favorites, as they were just exploding. And, I mean, just lately some dogs have been covering. So, anyway, make a long story short, that's where I'm at. I'm at that Grant Williams over. I'm looking for some points tonight from at least him.
All right, Alex here on Grant Williams over 6.5 points. This one tonight, 8:30 Eastern Time. All eyes will be on TNT. All right, Alex, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs for tonight's action. As we said, a handful of games here from Major League Baseball, as well as a single from NHL and NBA. Good results in NHL this year. 1,183 units of profit. All documented over at Pick Dogs from Alex. What do you have going on over at the site?
I've got those 2 NBA selections, the side and the total, on the Celtics-Miami game tonight. And I have that lone NHL playoff game, Knights in Dallas. And it's a money line selection. So, will Dallas prolong the series, or will Vegas finish them up, so the Panthers did last night? We will find out, and I've got a bet on that one.
Bet on that one indeed. So get up with Alex Smart over at Pick Dogs. Plays up there for you. Individual plays from Alex on the board right now. Get on board. Of course, these are credit guaranteed, meaning they must turn a profit or the amount you purchase is credit back to your account for site credits. That is profit guarantee. Also, you can go longer term with Alex. You see the great results in the NHL from Alex. That 7-day pass. You want to try him out. All of his premium plays for 7 days. All his MLB, NHL, and NBA for that period of time. You select, go to his handicapper page, make that purchase. Don't forget that promo code to save 15% off. All right, Alex, as always, great having you on the show. To hear that success, we'll catch up with you again on next week.
Yeah, next week for sure. Take care, Tony. Have a great weekend.
You as well. Alex Smart here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on with the coverage. NINOS is up next. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Let's go to the Skype world and welcome in NINOS. We're going to get play here tonight from Major League Baseball from El. El NINOS. I think we're set to roll here. El NINOS here over the Twitter wars. El NINOS, what's happening?
How you doing, Tony? I'm doing good here. Looking forward to a little bounce back. I know it's been a couple rough picks for me on the drive-through, so looking to make it up. I like this one quite a bit better than the one we looked at yesterday.
All right, yeah, we kind of had pretty much our hands tight there. Not a lot to choose from. But anyway, tonight we go to really a division I have kind of issues with. I have a hard time handicapping these divisions here. This division here, L Central here is White Sox. Here on the road against the Tigers. White Sox favored -143. Total sits here at 8.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting matchup. If you take a look, the Tigers have won the last 3 meetings, but if you look a bit deeper, the White Sox have won 7 of the last 8 in Detroit, and they got a nice little pitching edge, I think, here. The much more experienced pitcher, and well, Fado has some pretty good numbers going for him. Great strikeout to walk ratio, just 1 walk in his 3 starts. That's pretty impressive. But again, still that ERA is pretty up there, and the way the White Sox have been hitting, they think they get to him a little bit. They've been playing really well. They've won 7 of their last 10, and just playing some great baseball right now. The Tigers not too bad themselves, but I think they got a little bit tougher series coming up for them, and definitely a tough series opener here with this pitching matchup. And I'm going to go with the White Sox to get the job done. If you don't want to lay the juice, again, don't mind just taking them on the run line or both. They're on the road, so they should be able to cover this run line for us, and like the White Sox here.
All right, El NINOS here on the White Sox, -144 here against the Tigers. And, of course, yeah, it's about Giolito here on the mound tonight. And also, too, something that's worth noting here, of course, the White Sox have been marred by a really poor bullpen this year. And, of course, of late, it's not been the case. If you kind of, look at the past 10 games, the Chicago bullpen's in the area under 1 so far.
Yeah, the home run's been a big problem for this whole pitching staff, actually. And as you said, it's been a bit better lately, and not facing the toughest lineup here. A couple pretty good hitters in this lineup, but again, not the best lineup in the league. And I think he does pretty okay and gets enough run support. So I like the White Sox in this spot here quite a lot, actually.
El NINOS here on White Sox, -144 here against the Tigers. This one will have a start time here of 6:40 Eastern time. All right, El NINOS, let's take a look over at Pick Document for tonight's action. As we said, a limited card tonight here on the board. We do have games here from Major League Baseball, 6 games on the board, singles here from the NBA and NHL. Showing good results here in Major League Baseball, as you can see here with El NINOS, 734 units of profit. All document over at Pick Dogs Premium. What do you have going on over the site?
Got a little bit of everything today. Alphabet's back in action. I got my best bet from the MLB, NBA, and NHL. I got them on a 3-pack if you want to check that out. Going for a 3rd straight winner from my $19 MLB play if you want to just check that one out. Again, if you're just into one sport, get whichever one you want. If you want all the action, grab one of those long-term or 2-for-1 capper passes.
All right, guys, got a board with El NINOS over at Pick Dogs Premium. You see the great results here from Major League Baseball. El NINOS in action a lot with Major League Baseball today. He's got that $19 premium play. Get on board there. Or remember, the long-term passes will serve you well up to a 3, 7, or 30 L Sports Pass. All of his L's premium plays for that period of time you select. When you go to his handicapper page, make that purchase. Use that promo code PICK at checkout. Save that 15% off. All right, El NINOS, as always, great having you show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you next week. Well, everybody know they can catch you here on the weekend shows.
That's right. We're on much earlier in the morning, 10 a.m. in the morning on weekdays. So catch us Saturday, Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern with Mitch and the crew.
With Mitch and the crew, of course, you'll catch El NINOS there giving out plays as well. A lot of the folks on the drive-thru chime in on that show to give out their picks. So there you go for that. All right, now have a great weekend. We'll talk with you next week.
All right, have a good one, Tony.
El NINOS here on the drive-thru. Guys, you missed a pick. We'll recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Lots of NBA talk on the show today. So let's continue on here with the NBA. We're going to go ahead and bring in Wayne Scott. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We'll bring Wayne in right now. I think we'll be ready to roll here with Wayne Scott in just a second until we get to him right now. I think we're set to go here with Wayne Scott. Wayne, what's happening?
What's going on, Tony T? What's going on, Pick Dog family?
All right, here we go. The game of the night here. Heat-Celtics game number 5. Celtics going to have to stave off 4 elimination games if they're going to get to the finals. A heavy task for them, but they're big favorites here at home. 8.5, total 214.5.
Yes, sir. Here we are talking about the Celtics. Them boys fought their way back into this thing, and I know a lot of people expect them to get knocked out tonight, but not so fast, my friends. I believe the Celtics owe their home crowd one, man. They were 7 and 8 point favorites in them first two games, and we've seen the best Miami Heat team. We've seen them come out, hit threes, D-up, play totally opposite from what they've been playing this season, but we also seen last game that they can come back and to form. They shot 25% from three last game. That's more closer to what they've been doing during the season. They also didn't get a lot of production from their role players, which has been keeping them in a lot of these games. And the scary part about this is we have yet to see the best Boston Celtics yet. Yeah, they played good last game and they got a win, but Jaylen Brown only has 17 points. He's still yet to score 20 in this series. They were down by 6 at half, guys, and came back and won by 17. They still have yet to put a complete game together. And I think they come out there in this home court and give their fans a complete game. I think they can cruise in an 8-point victory and make this a series that we'll be talking about for a long time. They have the players to do it. They've shown all season that once they hit the three ball and once they play defense, it's a wrap, guys. I mentioned how Miami been scoring over 100 points. And as soon as I said something about Boston coming back and putting the clamps on these guys and making them score, they did that. They held Miami under 100 points. And we know if you hold Miami to that 100-point range and you can score above that, then you can get that victory. I think it's another game where they come out, they bring the defense. Brogdon only had 2 points last game. I think he plays a lot better, and I think they can win this game by 8 tonight and make this a great series.
All right, we got Wayne here on the Celtics lane 8.5 here against the Heat. Speaking of role players, look at Vincent, who had one big game in this series. He is going to be sidelined here. We don't really talk a whole lot about Hero being out. He's been out for pretty much most of the playoffs here. I don't know if we're going to start. We haven't really felt that, right? That they've just been on fire with Vincent Strus in there. Butler, Love, Adebayo is your starting five with Lowry here. Of course, Brogdon is dealing with a little bit of an issue as well, but he's going to play through it.
Yes, sir. To beat a team like Boston, you're gonna need every role player. So to hear that somebody's missing, that just makes me a lot more happier with this bet. And you got Jimmy Butler flirting with R&B stars. Any kind of distractions I can get, we'll take it when you need a team to win by 8. And as you pointed out, I'm watching these Miami players. These role players like Caleb Martin. Role players like Love, these guys had 5 and 6 points, and when the games they won, they had around the 12 to 15 points. So if they come out there bull jiving and they don't help Jimmy Butler and Adebayo, it can be a wrap for these guys pretty quick, and they can find themselves into a 3-3 series if these role players don't step up. They need everybody, Tony.
Yep, they're all on deck here. This is it here. Down 3-1. Celtics lay the 8.5 against the Heat. This one will have a start time here of 8:30 Eastern time. You could watch this one over on TNT. All right, Wayne, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Print for tonight's action. Of course, Wayne showing great results here over the last 30 days. 785 units of profit, all documented over at Pick Dodge Print. We can verify that. Go to Wayne's handicapper page. Go down to Pick History. You can see all that up there on the board. 6 games on the board for Major League Baseball, single NBA, single NHL. There is some WNBA if interested out there. What do you have going on over at Pick Dodge Premium?
Yeah, I have 4 plays today. 3 in the MLB and 1 in the NHL. I had a 3-pack out there, but one of my MLBs has started, so I got to go back out there and put my best bet in the MLB, which starts at 7. I'm gonna run out there and put that out there, so anybody wants to grab that. But my 3-pack has started, and right now I'm 1-1 in that. I had 2 overs and overs in the Rays game, and I had over in the St. Louis game. We had a good Mickle, and St. Louis shows me they're still struggling and they can't hit a pitcher like Weaver. So 1-1, and I'm looking to close these last 2 games out with a win. I'm gonna put one out there so y'all can catch that one with me. Let's get ready to cash and bring this weekend strong.
Yeah, weekend strong indeed, guys. Got it board with Wayne Scott over at Pick Dodge Premium. You see the great results here from Wayne. 785 units of profit last 30 days, all showing profit last 7 days. Big day over yesterday as well from Wayne. So get on board with Wayne Scott over at Pick Dodge Premium. The long-term pass will serve you well. You may consider that 30-day All Sports Pass You get the remainder of the NHL and NBA playoffs in that 30-day pass, as well as all of Wayne's MLB. Remember that promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save that 15% off. You can also add a second capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Wayne, as always, great having the show. To that success, we'll catch up with you again next week. But let everybody know they can catch you here on the weekends. While you're running, they don't want to miss a segment from you. So you'll be available here for the weekend shows.
Yes, sir. I'll be on here with Mitch or Chris, giving out a pick then, giving my input on a couple boxing matches and any other sports that I'm on that I love. I'll give y'all who I like so y'all can cash with me. You got to stay tuned, though.
Stay tuned indeed. Wayne Scott here on the drive-thru. Wayne, we'll catch up with you next week.
Thanks for having me, Tony T. Y'all take care, Pick Dog family. See you tomorrow.
You got it. Wayne Scott here on the drive-thru. Guys, you missed a pick. We're going to recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here on the drive-thru. For some reason, I'm thinking it's Friday. We'll bring in our man Shane Mickle. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Have a fantastic year in the NHL this year. So we'll go ahead and bring Shane in right now. I think we'll be ready to roll here. Can also catch his written work on the site. Shane, what's happening?
How's it going today, Tony?
Awesome. I'm looking forward to these games. Not a lot on the board, but it's fun to watch here tonight. Golden Knights and Stars here. Stars looking to stave off that elimination. Look at the line, razor thin here. The slimmest of favorites here, minus 106. Total sits here at 5.5.
Yeah, I think my NHL's been strong all year, but I think this is my first NHL play I've ever given out on the drive-thru. So this is a change for me. But I really like the under in this game. The Stars' offense clearly has its issues. They're turning back. Their defense is turning back to Jake Ottinger in this game, and I think that this isn't like NHL isn't like soccer where you can just put 6 people in front of the goal and try to play a defensive stance, as you might say. But I think that the Stars realize that they're not going to be winning a game, where they're going to be winning 5-2 or 4-3. If they want to win this game, they need to make it ugly. They might need to take it to overtime, and I think they feel like they need to win this. Maybe 2-1, maybe 3-2. I think the Vegas Golden Knights defense continues to be strong. In the last game, they gave up 0 goals. I think that they get good goaltending again in this one. A good defensive workout in front of the net. And with Jamie Benn out for the Stars, it's a big loss for the offense. I think this game stays under.
All right, we got Shane says go under, told her under 5.5 here. Golden Knights and Stars here in this closeout game. Yeah, it's been under here the last 2 in this series with 3-2 final, 4-0 final. But Dallas is the team that's had the issues scoring, been held here to the 3 goals or fewer here in their past 5 games. They've actually lost 4 of their past 5. Remember, they were taken to 7 games by Seattle.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're definitely really struggling coming in this game, obviously, with the 3 losses. And yeah, that offense is an issue, and it's clear that the temper tantrum has gotten to this game. That cross-check by Jamie Benn in the last game was ridiculous. Regular season, that might be a 5 or 6 game suspension with what he did there. It might be a point in this game where if they give up that first goal, it just gets ugly. They just get dirty, and they're just going to be fighting, scrapping there. But yeah, I really like the under. It would actually been a premium pick for me, but when I was looking at it last night, the unders were juiced to like 120, and I really didn't feel like laying those odds. But those odds have gone down a little bit, so I definitely would like it more here.
All right, there we go with Shane here. Golden Knights Stars under 5.5. This one have a start time here, 8 Eastern time. The hockey tonight on ESPN. All right, Shane, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs for tonight's action. We said that Shane doing great work here in the NHL. 868 units of profit, all documented over at Pick Dogs Premium. All right, Shane, tonight we've got that single NHL. We got NBA on the board. Still 6 on the board for Major League Baseball. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yeah, I went light today on baseball. My 2 baseballs already off the board. But there's still value up there. I've got my top MLB or top NBA play, and then top NHL play. There are 2 different packages. Both are $29.99. But hop on something long term. We still have the NHL finals coming up. We still have the NBA finals coming up, and depending on how many games this conference series goes, maybe a few more games if the Celtics can continue this success. And of course MLB. So there's still plenty of value and definitely the best bang for your buck. So hop on long term.
That's right, guys. Got on board here with Shane Mickle over at Pick Dogs. Good results in NHL for this season. Also showing good profit over the last 30 days up on the board. So get on board with Shane with the long-term passes. We talk about them. The best value right now. He's got the 7-day pass, the 30-day pass, the 1 month pass, all of us Shane's premium place. It gets the remainder of the NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, and Major League Baseball. With that pass here for 1 month, you remember the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off at that second capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Shane, as always, great having you show. See that success. We'll catch up with you again next week. But let everybody know they can you're also a contributor in written form over on the sites.
Yeah, definitely. We got the last weekend of English Premier League on Sunday, so we'll have all those articles up, and then UFC, and then WNBA, and then of course on Pick Dogs I do MLB and NHL. So make sure to check out all the written work, and I'll keep hammering it. WNBA, there's always value to be made. So those lines usually come out late, but there's always money to be made in WNBA. So make sure you're checking out those articles. That's
right. Check out those articles, Shane, over there at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Play. So, all right, Shane, have a great weekend. We'll catch up with you again next week.
Sounds good. Have a good weekend, everyone.
You got it. Shane Mickle here on the drive through. Let's continue on. Lots of people signing in right now. Guys, if you miss a pick, we'll recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on. We're going to head out to Las Vegas, Nevada. Up next is Tony Brown. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Put up some really good numbers as well. Let's see if we can bring in Tony Brown here in just a second. I think we're set to roll here. Let's see here. Let's go back a little bit here. Our roster keeps continuing to grow and grow here on the show. We're bringing him in right now. Tony Brown, what's the word?
Tony T, how's it going out there?
Doing great. All right, here we go tonight. Major League Baseball here at 7:20 Eastern Time. This is a real close line here as the Braves will be hosting the Phillies. The Braves, the short favorite, -105. Total sits at 9.5.
Yeah, it's a unique situation in this game. Both of these teams are coming off walk-off wins from the other day, and both of these teams should have been swept. Like Arizona was wearing Philly out. They won 2 of the 3 games, and then the third game they had a 5-run lead, and they just blew it and let Philly come back in the walk-off. Same with the Braves. The Dodgers were taking care of them, and then they got walked off on. So both of these teams are coming off a win, but both of these teams haven't been playing well. They both should have been swept, and the only edge that I'm giving to the Braves tonight is the home field advantage. You know, you always get a little boost with the crowd. However, the pitching edge, which is a more important edge than home field advantage, has to go to Phillies because the Braves are calling up a rook. They got a guy they called up from the minors. He pitched 15 innings total so far this season. This is his first time seeing Philly, so maybe an inning or two. I think, you know, they haven't seen him before. He gets by, and then after that, they'll probably crush him. Or even if the kid's on a pitch count or something, they'll have to get into the bullpen early. And then after playing, getting a walk-off last night, they used a few pitchers. I just give the pitching edge to Phillies in this one, and I like the Phillies to win on the road.
All right, Tony Brown says go Phillies here on the road, -102 against the Braves. Yeah, issue with the Braves, they're dealing with some injuries to the rotation, right? Fried, Wright has been out, so they're having to kind of mix a little bit here with some of their folks from the farm. And Dodd has had some struggles, no doubt. Also, too, when you're used to those starters going deep, it's probably doing a little bit of issues here with the bullpen, right? It's forcing them to work a little harder. Braves bullpen at home this year. Tony Brown, an ERA near 5. We know that's not like the Braves to have that high ERA in their bullpen.
Right, just a shade under 5, and that's the thing. I'm not really betting on Phillies because Nola hasn't been, a crown jewel. He hasn't been like a stud starter himself, but I think he's better than anything that's coming out of the farm system. And then with the Braves having one of the higher ERAs for the bullpen, I think the Phillies bats will get to him.
I know, Tony Brown, you're a Dodger fan. You can't like Ozuna when he's hitting Will Smith in the head with his backswing.
I mean, and then this is the thing when stuff like that happens, you're like, okay, it happens, it's an accident. But you're a professional ball player who makes millions of dollars not to do that. Like, that's just like amateur bush league type stuff, and yeah, I don't like that at all.
No, I agree with you there, too. I mean, some people are saying, well, give them an out. I think at some point you got to go to suspension because, like you said, they're professionals,
Right. Who cares about an out? You know what I mean? We'll take an out in a losing game if we can just whack the catcher in the head and all that. You got to hit them in the pockets for sure.
No doubt about that. Cost you a game check, no doubt. I'm with you there. And, again, the key here to the word Tony Brown used is you're a professional. And even Will Smith, I got to give him credit. He says, you should fix that. That was a very, very smart thing to say, right?
Seriously, the NBA fixed it because they all remember hard foul and playoff foul and all that. If you wind up with intent and hit someone in the head, that's a flagrant. You know what I mean? And it's going to end up costing these guys money. It's costing them points. It's costing them ball games. So we've seen less of it. They need to really, really look into that, and it can't happen. It's dangerous. Like, think of it at its most root level. It's hitting someone in the head with a bat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no place for that shit.
No, I agree with you 100%. You know, could cost you a championship. Look at Draymond Green. No doubt about that. We've seen that happen.
Oh, that's a whole nother story. They were going to lose that anyway. But I see where you were going.
I got you. Tony Brown here. Phillies minus 102 against the Braves. This one have a start time 7:20 Eastern time. All right, Tony Brown. Let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Premium. Good result. Look at the results at Nation. We see this. I mean, I've interviewed Tony Brown, 6 years, 7 years. Never fail. Every year it's always big Tony Brown pounding the NHL as usual here. 1,508 units of profit. Tony Brown showing good profit for the year. Last 3 days, last 7 days, yesterday, across the board here. Tony Brown here on that calendar, winning. All right, tonight we have 6 on the board. Major League Baseball, singles from NHL and NBA. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
We got the same old song, man. There's some great games on tonight. It's an NBA playoff game, an NHL playoff game, and of course my MLB laser lock. If you just play your sport that you're into, you can get any of those picks individually. Or if you really want to bang your bookie and make some money, you can get all 3 with my Thursday 3 play and bang your bookie 3 times over.
That's right, guys. Get on board with Tony Brown over at Pick Dogs Premium. You see the great results there from Tony Brown, NHL. Also, just look at the overall numbers here for the year winning, last 3 days winning, last 7 days winning, yesterday's winning. So get on board with Tony Brown over at Pick Dogs Premium. That long-term pass will serve you well, that 3, 7, or 30-day pass. But Tony Brown, you're in this long-term, you know, in Vegas, that 1-year VIP pass you have available, your best value.
Yeah, it's the best way to go. Like I said, tonight I have 3 premium plays from 3 different leagues. So you have to buy 3 separate league passes, or you have to pay per play and buy 3 separate plays, which is fine. But if you're serious about making money, the only way to go is to get that VIP pass. That way you would get all 3 plays included in the pass, because it's every sport that I make picks in, you get them. Every play I release from any sport, playoffs, the championship picks included, and it's all for one low price.
That's right, guys. At one low price and save even more money. Use that promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off that. Any of the passes up there, but we'll do the math here on that 1-year all sports pass. That's nearly $200 off that, $300 off that 1-year all sports pass. So it's a very good value there. So get on board with it. PICK is a promo code. All right, Tony Brown, as always, great having you show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you again next week.
All right. I always appreciate being here. And before I go, I just want to say, Shane Mickle, I would like to buy a pass from you, sir. I've never heard anyone say they know how to make money in the WNBA. So if you can do that, please, sir, send me the email and I'll sign up for a pass. I'll see you guys next week.
See you next week. Tony Brown here on the drive-thru. All right, let's continue. That's the home of the Aces, Las Vegas Aces, WNBA champion, a world champion there in sports. We may see another one. We might see the Golden Knights hang a banner there in Vegas, no doubt. This one series away. Let's continue on here. Let's go over to Millz Young. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Of course, I hope you're catching his video series here over on the channel with his prop plays of the day. And he's got something for us today. Let's bring him in right now. Millz, what's happening?
What's going on, Tony? How we doing today, Pick Dogs family?
Everything's going great, Millz. All right, tonight we're going to be looking with, we're going actually NBA prop tonight with you in this Heat Celtics game.
Man, prop? Somebody say player prop?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm all in. Let's go, man. So, yeah, don't got to talk about the game on here. You know, everybody pretty much has a thought or opinion on it. So, let's go ahead and, go to the player prop shop and see what we're shopping for today. All right, one player I'm going to be looking at right now, he's sitting at an 80% clip right now. The betting tools are in line with my decision. 4 out of his last 5 games, he hit this prop. It's one of those guys who goes on the court, doesn't really get noticed a lot. I'm talking about Caleb Martin, over 12.5 points. He's real efficient in the game, too. Last game, only missed 3 shots in the game, going for 6 for 9, 2 for 2 out of the threes. The reason why I mention that is because somebody in the chat actually gave me a player prop on that and said, hey, take him over 1.5 threes. So what did I do, Tony? I took him over 1.5 threes, and he cashed it, man. I want to say he cashed that prop before halftime. Speaking of halftime, he cashed that prop last game before halftime too, over 11.5 points. The books really didn't catch up to it. They only put it at a point over. I really like this player prop. Why? Just heard that Vincent's going to be out. Vincent, all right, he's not a guy that's going to give you a lot of points. He's going to give you anywhere from 9 to 16 a game. So, I look for definitely Caleb Martin to go over his point player prop, and that's at 12.5.
All right, over 12.5 points here. Caleb Martin here is the play here from from Millz in this spot. And, Vincent is the situation, but the key here is minutes, right? These guys are all fighting for minutes here on the court, and that means all that means is just more opportunity for Caleb Martin to get to that number.
Yeah, I mean, he got 35 minutes last game out there. He's a small forward. So at that position, you really can't trust nobody else in there. I think he's like a 4-year player right now, a second year with the Heat, finally catching on, played some earlier years with the Hornets, was just in the league, not really catching anything. Now, he's part of a team, he's actually a core player now, so he made it to that role. And he ain't gonna mess it up now. He got a twin brother, and last time I heard, he ain't as good as him. So, he's definitely want to go out there and get the name proud out here. So, Caleb Martin, definitely, man. Give you some stats and facts that I like. I mean, going for 16, 18, 25, and 15. I mean, this ain't a guy out there, giving you like 10 points a game and scared to shoot the ball. And when we talk about the Miami Heat, the only thing we talk about is Jimmy Butler. Kyle Lowry's not putting up any points. Bam Adebayo, come on now, man. That was a mistake from the jump. Shows up when he wants to, kind of like that bad employee at work. Besides that, Duncan Robinson, let me guess, gave you guys one game, so the guys got hope? I don't think so either. So, Caleb Martin, he's one of those guys that can go out there and just get you the needed amount of points and not try to take over the game and be a superstar.
All right, that's right. Then if you look at Martin, he's got that number the last 4 games. And also those 2 games in Boston in this playoff, in this round, he averaged 20 points a game.
I mean, how can you go wrong with it? And then also his 3-point percentage right now in the postseason is high. I want to say it's around the 41% right now. So and it's just really one of those things to where nobody from the Miami Heat is even really stepping up. Jimmy Butler only went over his point prop, I want to say 2 times in this series. Compared to last game, last series, I want to say it was Jimmy Buckets. This series is a little bit different. He's giving you guys like 21 points, 17 points, and stuff like that. But he's filling up the stats. I also like his rebound prop over 7.5 too.
There you go. For another one bonus there from Millz here. Caleb Martin over 12.5 points. This one will have a start time here of 8:30 Eastern time. The NBA tonight will be on TNT. All right, Millz, let's take a look over at Pick Dog for tonight's action. Of course, as we know, 6 on the board for Major League Baseball, singles, NBA, and NHL. Going to good results here over the last 30 days. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Man, I got 2 plays in the NBA to get you paid, man. Yeah, man, I smack this game each and way I can, Besides that, I got 1 play on the baseball diamond for you guys. Late night game on the totals. 3 plays up there to get you paid. No UFC this week. No Bellator this week. No PFL. We do got LFA, but I don't got anything locked and loaded for that yet. So, just best value right now. Get your 3-day pass. Get all my 3-day plays, Might put some hockey bets out there. Definitely got baseball covered for you guys for the next. And, can't wait for the next basketball game. I think the Celtics extend.
That's right, guys. Get on board here with Millz Young over at Pick Dogs Premium. Show the great results here from Millz at 134 units profit last 3 days. Get on board. MLB winners up there with a single here from $19 from Millz. Also an NBA play for you as well. And, of course, NBA and player props. Lots of action here from Millz. But, again, the long-term pass will serve you well. You can get on board with that. Get that 30-day pass from Millz, right? All of Millz Premium plays for 30 days. That covers all his NBA all the way to the finals. NHL as well. Also includes baseball for 30 days, and of course the fight. He's in the fight, UFC. Any UFC picks, any Bellator picks are covered in that 30 days. There'll be some big cards. So guys, get on board. Get on board with Millz for that 1-month pass. Promo code PICK at checkout will save you that 15% off. It's about a $50 off that price, a little more than $50 off that price when you get on board with that 30-day pass and use that promo code PICK at checkout. You can also add a second capper with that too for capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Millz, as always, we're having a show. To that success, we'll catch up with you again next week, if not sooner. But I know we'll get the UFC show back when there's a card the following week, and of course, you also contribute at times on the weekend shows.
Yeah, man, definitely. This Saturday, see what we got going around. I definitely could pop up this Saturday with no UFC around. So look for me maybe on the Saturday show. If not, maybe the Sunday show for sure. If not, try to pop in the drive-through appearance when I can. As long as I'm at the house, it's good Wi-Fi. Sometimes when I'm out and about, I just don't want to sign in from any location, and give you guys iffy information, So I'll try to do the best I can to come in through the drive-through whenever I can. But yeah, besides that though, got something else cooking up too, just like the prop videos I've been doing now. Gonna be doing something for the UFC. The
Nice.
same thing related. So yeah, it should be. Don't want to tempt it too much, but yeah, it should be coming pretty soon. It's in the works for next week. Next week you got a UFC card, and then you got PFL coming back as well. So yeah, just like quick hits. Go over the fights. Which one you think's gonna finish? Which one you think's not gonna go the distance? Kind of like a quick random thing how we did on the show too.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I was hoping that when we we'll do it again once we get a light Thursday and we have a card on from UFC. What's with the slap fighting I'm hearing about?
Man, so to tell you about that, it was the first time ever it was available on my book. So I questioned about it. Like I was never really interested in watching it and stuff. But once they said I could bet on it on my book, I was like, So, I did okay last night on there. It is crazy, man. People just stand up there, and if you go first, you have the chance of just slapping him so hard to where he doesn't even get up and get a possibility to hit you back, and you just win. But, I mean, they had some big underdogs on there, like plus 240 underdogs, plus 340 underdogs on there. I only won, like, a favorite that was, like, a minus 140, though. But, yeah, man, I don't advise it at all, though. BKFC, bare knuckle boxing or fighting, that's different. That's different. Yeah, there's some good ones on there, and it's some money to be made because it's a lot of former UFC fighters and former boxers and stuff, and they're really legit. Bare knuckle boxing is like those old Irish movies. That one that Brad Pitt played in or something back in the day. I forgot what it was, but yeah.
Remember those old? What was that they used to call toughest man fights back in the day? It sounded like the auctioneer was calling it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
those were the days, man. Now you got everything. Yeah, now everything is you got all type of fight organizations, so it's definitely a time. And then you got other YouTubers boxing, fighters like Francis Ngannou. He went over and signed this big deal with PFL to where he can have his own PFL organization in Africa. So he's not with the UFC no more. He's probably only going to fight like big names. Anybody who fights Francis Ngannou in his contract, they get paid $2 million base salary.
Wow. Well, I got to tell you this. Now that sports betting is legal, they need to bring back that celebrity boxing.
Oh, man, that was some good stuff back in the day, man. What about this, Tony? You remember back in the day in L.A., they used to have those celebrity baseball games?
Yeah.
Like with King Griffey would play and famous rappers and Montel Jordan and stuff like that. But, yeah, man, they need to bring back that too, put like celebrities and more sports games and, televise them and stuff and let them compete.
That's right, no doubt. All right, Mills. Have yourself a great weekend. We'll catch up with you again next week.
All right, man. Appreciate everybody in the chat, man. Let's win these bets tonight. Only thing we ask, just hit that like.
Hit that like button. Like and subscribe. Thumbs up, guys. We greatly appreciate it. It helps us out quite a bit. All right, Mills, have a great night. We'll catch up with you again next week. All right, Millz Young here on the drive-thru. Guys, you missed a pick. We're going to recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on. It's time for Jay Briggs. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Of course, Jay has contribute nicely here on the show, on the drive-thru. Also catch his morning drop and, of course, his NBA Live show when there is a game scheduled. And there was one today, but we'll bring him in right now. Jay, what's happening?
Tony T, what's happening?
It's going great, right? We're going to look in this game, continue again with the limited card. We've got to look at this game again with the Heat and Celtics. Line still sit about 8.5, total 214.5. We'll be looking at this one a little differently.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm going to go to the prop land just like my guy Millz just did. Very rarely do we go to the prop land on the drive-thru these days, but I'm going today. I talked about this game extensively today on the morning drop and on the live gym session with the Big Al McMordy. What I forgot to mention is the favorite player prop that I like today. What I'm going with, man, I'm taking Jason Tatum to have a huge game. We've seen him do it. I like Game 7 against Philadelphia in Boston. I think tonight is one of those games. This is a pivotal game for the Celtics, and big-time players make big-time plays. I'm expecting him to show up tonight. Over 30, I think, is a great place to be. He's done it in 3 of his last 5 in a lose-or-go-home game for them on their home floor where they've lost back-to-back. I think he shows up tonight in a big way. I'm leaning on him to put his team on his back. Top 5 player, he's a all-NBA guy. First team, a.k.a. top 5 player, and I expect him to show off tonight. I'm going to take him over 30.
All right, looking for Tatum to show up. We saw what he did there in games. It's almost like the Celtics are nothing but Game 7s now, right? It's winner go home here. If we're in Game 5, they gotta win the next 3 in a row. Although the benefit they do have is they have 2 more games at home. They got that 1 win in Miami. They got to get if they get past this game, they got to get that win in Game 6. And what would a Game 7 look like? That would be something, huh?
It would be something, Tony. The stat is teams that have gone up 3-0 are 150-0. Can the Celtics be the first one to do it? You know, like you said, they took the one that mattered, I think, most. That game, you know, fighting back and winning Game 4. Game 6 is going to be a very pivotal game as well. They got to get through 5 first. And the books seem to think they get the win. By margin is the question.
Yeah, that's the number there, 8.5 there. That's always the big question, right? Can they win, but can they cover? Because they put that heavy number there. And although some people think it may just get away, right? Sometimes it gets away from teams. But you never know. We may have a competitive finish. We'll see how that rolls. TATUM over 30 points. This one have a start time here of 8:30 Eastern time. All right, Jay, let's take a look over at Pick Document for tonight's action. Some good results in baseball. Still 5 on the board here for Major League Baseball. Singles, NBA, and NHL. What do you have going on over at Pick Docs Premium?
Yes, sir. I have 3 plays today, 1 from each sport. I got 1 in the NBA, my $19 NBA Jam Session play, my favorite play in the NBA every night. I have a Major League Baseball play. As you can see, we are off to a great start in Major League Baseball. So I have my favorite play in Majors tonight. And then I also have a play in NHL. So you can scoop that up over at Pick Dogs Premium. And I have them all in a 3-pack if you want to get all 3 instead of buying them individual. But the best thing to do, hop on something long-term. Let me help you make some money over an extended period of time, or pair me up 2-for-1 capper special with one of the great guys here on the channel.
That's right, guys. Got aboard with Jay Briggs over at Pick Dogs. Great results in Major League Baseball, so get on board with Jay. That Jam Session $19 premium is up there. Remember, these one-day passes are credit guaranteed. They must turn a profit. The amount you purchase is credit back to your account for site credits. That is profit guarantee. And you see the long-term passes there. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout to save that 15% off. Right, Jay? As always, great having you show. To that success. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow, and of course we'll look forward to that Jam Session if there is a Game 6. If not, we wait till the NBA Finals for the live show.
This is what I told them on the Jam Session today. I told them I will see them on Saturday. So
there you go. Jay's telling you there will be a Game 6. So that's Saturday, and then Monday would be Game 7 if necessary. So just keep tuned into it as well. No doubt about that. All right, Jay, have a great night. We'll catch up with you soon.
Yes, sir, Tony T. I'll see you on Monday.
See you on Monday. Jay
or tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Friday.
Tomorrow.
That's right. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Back tomorrow. Jay Briggs here on the drive. Through. Guys, if you missed a pick, we're going to recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that, if you would. Let's continue on here on the drive. There's some. We're going to bring in Big Al McMordy here. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We're going to get some spring football with you guys here. Ready for some spring football? It's been going on for some time now. We're ready to go here with the Big Al. Big Al, what's happening?
Not much. Yeah, it's a short card, on this Thursday. So let's look ahead to Saturday afternoon. Take a look at the USFL matchup between Birmingham and New Orleans. They're actually going to meet for the second time this season. This game, much like the first game, it's going to be played in Birmingham. That's the home city for both of these teams this season. Last year, all 8 teams played in Birmingham. This season, the league has broken up the 8 teams into 4 pods. So you've got, 2 teams play in Birmingham, 2 teams in Detroit, 2 teams in Canton, Ohio, and 2 teams in Memphis. I think this rivalry is probably the best in the USFL. These teams met 3 times last year, including the playoffs. And Birmingham, which won the title, they won all 3 meetings last season, including 31-17 in the playoff game. This season, in the first matchup, New Orleans avenged those losses, and they blew out Birmingham. They were an 8-point underdog in week 3. They won that game 45-31. This week, of course, the line's a lot shorter. It opened at +1, and now New Orleans is now plus 2.5. And I wrote an article about this a few weeks ago. If you take a look at how the money has done in these minor football leagues this year, it's been horrible. In the XFL, and I just use the opening and closing lines at Circa. The money, depending on which side they bet on, if you would go against the money, you would have gone 24-14 with a couple pushes in the XFL. This season in the USFL, if you go against where the money is going, you're 14-6 with a push, so combined 38-20 with 3 pushes for 65.5%. As a handicapper, Tony, I really don't care, where the money goes, what the public is betting on, what the sharps are betting on. I just do my own thing. But some people do care. But if you do care, you don't want to be anywhere near the money in these minor football leagues because they're doing horribly. That being said, I'm going to be going against the money in this game. I like the setup here for the underdog Breakers. They were a road favorite last week. They lost outright. They were an 8-point favorite at Philadelphia, and they lost 16-10. Meanwhile, the Stallions, they were a road favorite. They won 27-13 as a 5-point favorite against Philly. So you had two teams that were road favorites last week. I'm going to take the team that lost outright in a bounce-back situation. It sets up well for them, plus 2.5, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the underdog here, plus 2.5 points.
There we go from Big Al here with plus 2.5 here with the Breakers here against the Stallions. How's this pod system working? I know as a handicapper, we always like to have those home and road numbers, so it can get a little bit tricky here as far as trying to keep data on these.
It's just, last year all the games were neutral the way I did it. This year, you've got some games are home, some games are road, some games are neutral. Not that different than college basketball.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, because a lot of the non-conference has been college, especially with these tournaments.
Yeah, so it's similar to college basketball. Sometimes you're coming off a home game, sometimes you're coming off a neutral game. But it's, to be honest with you, there's no real home field advantage.
That's right. There's not enough crowd.
Nobody in the stands. It's
made for TV,
all these
and
games
it can probably it's made for TV, and it's that's what will survive, right? Because it's the television.
Yeah, it's kind of like just all the games are really just neutral, to be honest with you.
Yeah, neutral site there. All right. Now this Al McMordy here, Breakers plus 2.5 against the Stallions. This one, I'll start time here 1 p.m. Eastern time over on Fox on Saturday. All right, Big Al, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Pin for tonight's action. Of course, 5 on the board from Major League Baseball. Still singles from the NBA, NHL. Good results from Big Al here in the NBA for this season. What do you have going on over at Pick Dodge Premium?
Well, I've got side and total in the NBA. I've also got one play on the ice in hockey. I've got my USFL total of the month going on Saturday. Folks can get for free a premium play. I was on the live show with Jay earlier on the NBA, and I gave out the total for tonight's NBA game. So you can get that for free. You don't have to buy it. And then if you want to get my side play, it's up for sale right now. And you can also team me up with one of the champion handicappers here at Pick Dogs under the 2-for-1 handicapper special.
That's right, guys. Going over with Big Al McMordy over at Pick Dogs. Showing me some great results in the NBA. Big Al here with an NBA against the spread guarantee play up there right now from Celtics Heat, as well as individual plays here. So from the total, USF total of the month up there. Now, instead of buying all these plays individually, Big Al has a long-term pass, 3, 7, or 30 all sports pass. You get all his premium plays for that period of time you select. When you go to his handicapper page, make that purchase. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off. If it's in your budget, the 1-year pass is up there as well. Not too early to get ready for that, because that includes all the football that's coming up in a few months. Of course, all the postseason also covered on all these long-term passes. So get on board with Big Al over at Pick Dodge Premium. If you want to know on that promo code, you save $300 on that 1-year all sports pass when you use that promo code PICK at checkout. All right, Big Al, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you again next week. But everybody know they can catch you also on the weekends.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday. 10 a.m. Eastern. Looking forward to it this week. Should have some baseball to talk about. Maybe we'll talk about some more USFL.
That's right. Some spring football.
I'll be back on the weekend.
That's right. Back on the weekend with Big Al McMordy. All right, Big Al, have a great weekend. We'll catch up with you again next week.
Thanks, Tony. Good luck to you.
You as well. Big Al McMordy here on the Drive-Thru. Guys, if you missed a pick, we're going to recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here on the Drive-Thru. And we'll go ahead and bring in, let's see, we'll get to my pick here. We'll get the data up here for you right now in just a second here. Tonight we're going to be looking at Major League Baseball. Actually, no, we're going to go to, I was going to look at Major League Baseball. We're going to go here to this Heat and Celtics game tonight as well. I was going to go Major League Baseball, but I saw that Jacob Junis was going to be the primary pitcher for San Francisco. I said, there's no way, no how that I'm going to be on the Giants in that game. Just wasn't going to do it. So we're going to go here with this with the NBA, and I'm going to go here with the Celtics team total 111.5 in this one. We saw the Miami Heat really outscore Boston in those two games in Boston in this series, and I just think with the fact that the Miami Heat in this series is allowing 114.5 points per 100 possessions to Boston in Boston just tells me that I think the Celtics should be able to score. I think they're going to really push hard in this game. I got my questions of Miami. This is a big line, 8.5. Can they average? They're averaging 121 points per 100 possessions in Boston. I think Boston can tighten up the defense a little bit, but I just think the way Miami defended, they're giving up that many points to Boston at home. Even though Boston lost those games, I think they can get these points against them. And I will go with this team total over 111.5 in this one here between the Celtics and the Heat. Average the pace of play average nearly 97 possessions per 48 minutes in Boston. Not slow, not slack, but pretty much an average pace there. So we'll be looking here at the Boston team total over 111.5. Of course, this one will have a start time here of 8:30 Eastern time. All right, guys, check out Pick Dogs Premium tonight. I got 4 premium plays on the board. I've got a best bet from Major League Baseball, as well as a 3-pack with my NBA and 2 from Major League Baseball in that 3-pack. So get on board over at Pick Dogs. Remember, I have the long-term pass, 3, 7, or 30-day all-sports pass. Get all my premium plays for that time period. Just like when you go to my handicapper page and make that purchase, remember that promo code PICK at checkout, and you will save 15% off. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-thru. It's time to recap. Let's recap the plays from today's show. We started off here with Alex. Alex liked Grant Williams over 6.5 points. NINOS was White Sox minus 144 against the Tigers. Wayne was on the Celtics, laid the 8.5 against the Heat. Shane liked Gold Knight Stars under 5.5. Tony Brown here, Phillies minus 102 against the Braves. Millz was on Caleb Martin over 12.5 points. Jay was on Jason Tatum over 30 points. Al McMordie Breakers plus 2.5 against the Stallions. That's Saturday USFL. I'll be on Celtics team total over 111.5. The one I like the most, well, I like a lot of these. And I'm going to go here with Jay's pick with Tatum. I think Tatum's in for a big game tonight. That to over 30 points there with Jason Tatum. His went over was 29.5 at send out, but it went up another half point. I like that one there as well. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Before we exit you, let's take a look at some of the scores here for some of the afternoon games. Also, some games that were just in progress. Let's get to the game right now. Actually, we are looking here at Tigers Royals. That is, I believe, from yesterday. Let me see if we have our data up here corrected here. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. So let's see. Well, maybe I'll just let you know what the scores were. Let me just go back to the old school way, just looking at the scoreboard and letting you know what is going on right now in Major League Baseball. As we know, we have the finals here. It is 2-1. The Cardinals with the win against the Reds. Toronto and Tampa Bay with the win 6-3. Colorado walks it off here 7-6 here against Miami. That was a high-scoring game. Padres blow a 5-1 lead. It is now 6-5 Washington, top of the 8th. So Washington with that big comeback on the Padres, and the White Sox and Detroit Tigers scoreless bottom of the first. That gets you caught up with all the scoring. All right, that's going to do it here for this edition here of the Drive-Thru, guys. Make sure you tune in again here tomorrow here live here at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring in our cappers here from Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place, and we'll give out the plays for you live here on the show. And don't forget, it always gets started every single day here with the morning show. We got Mitch, we got Chris, we got Rod Zawacki giving out the plays in the morning. Of course, Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes. The betting tool show as well. Nerfies, Yerfies from Mitch. We also have Jay's Jam Session when there's NBA games. I'll have a morning drop and also live at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Mike Davis with his live show as well, 2 p.m. 1 p.m. Eastern time, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Ron Ramanelli baseball breakdown here as well. A pick from every game on the board for Major League Baseball. And, of course, Millz's prop video picks as well for you every day here on his drop. Don't forget Nick's Nerfies and Yerfies as well here on the show. So there's a lot going on the channel. So there's a lot happening here at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. So make sure to like, subscribe, set notifications. Get the plays when they're dropped to get the best numbers. All right, that's going to do it here for the show. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us, everybody in the chat room. Appreciate everyone's contributions. We're going to go ahead and bring in our big crew tonight. We're going to wait. Goodbye, guys. You guys have a great